We are back. It's MorningLine. Open phones for Social Security on Tuesday. The number is 737-7587 if you want to jump in. Couple lines open. Josh Horn doing his best to answer your questions. And if you've got something about one of your situations applying and all this, now's the time to get through, and we'll see if we can help you. Let's go to Clyde. Clyde, good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, Clyde. What's your story?
Okay, I've got a couple questions.
Okay.
One is, my wife has been drawing disability for about 5-6 years for mental and her lower back. She has a bulging disc, a pinched nerve, and she ended up getting incarcerated in 2013. Well, she's getting out this year. My question is, will she have to reapply for the disability benefits all over again, or will she still be able to receive her check when she gets out?
Good. That's a good question. I wonder about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I know that obviously we don't pay anybody who's incarcerated, and typically if it's less than a year, it's not a big deal to restart their benefits, basically. But if it's been more than a year, sometimes that can be a little bit more tricky, and sometimes they actually do have to reapply depending on the situation. So when she gets out, definitely want to check in with the Social Security office. Let us take a look at the record, see if it's something that we can restart or whether we need to reapply. Sometimes we can just send it up for a review, but sometimes we actually do have to start all over. So it's a really good question.
Okay, yeah, I guess so. The answer to that is if it's more than a year, you guys may have to reapply. They just need to check with the office. What's your other question? That was a good question, Clyde.
Okay, and my second question is, okay, I ended up doing a 12-year stint in prison myself. I got out in 2011, and recently, since I've been out, I've actually hurt myself. I've got bad knee problems. I've got a lower back problem. I'm so overwhelmed with everything that's going on because when I went into prison, my gas was 99 cents a gallon, and now it's like.
Wow, when did you get out?
I got out. I went in 99. I got out in 2011.
Wow, what was it for?
I was defending myself and ended up getting an attempted murder, a second-degree murder charge.
You didn't kill someone. It came close. Did you hurt him?
Yeah, I didn't kill him, but anyway.
Wow. Okay, and what about your wife? What was she in for?
She was in for aggravated assault.
Okay. Well, go ahead. So you got out, and it's a different world, and now you have some injuries. Now, you probably haven't had much.
I've been struggling trying to work, okay, and I've applied like 3 to 4 different times.
How old are you?
And I've proven that, I'm limited on the work I can do. I cannot bend. I've had surgery done on my right knee. I can't bend down very far when I go to squat or whatever. And I do home improvements for a living. That's my field. That's what I'm good at. And it's like, every time I've applied, I've been told that I can't get it. I'm eligible to work. And, it makes it kind of difficult when you're out here and you're limited on what you can do physically. And the only trade that you know is how, and you're not able to do it.
Oh yeah, I understand. How old are you?
I'm 45 years old.
Okay, all right, still a relatively young man, but he's got, all right, so does the prison time he does, will that affect it? Because he wasn't earning money at that point.
Yeah, it's exactly it. We see this with folks who are in prison for an extended period of time, is that the Social Security Disability Program requires you to have current work, and basically 5 out of the last 10 years you need to have worked prior to your injury, and so you probably didn't have any work 5 out of the last 10 years. Now, the SSI program doesn't necessarily take into consideration the 5 out of the last 10 years or any kind of current work, but then you have to qualify based on the income and resource rules, which you may qualify on that. So a lot of the folks that we see coming out of a long-term prison sentence where they were injured in prison or became disabled in prison, a lot of the times they're looking more along the SSI disability program, but that is something that you can look at and apply for.
Yeah, SSI might be his option. Again, he still has to qualify, and on top of that, he'll have to meet some very stringent earning requirements at that point. I mean,
yeah, for the Social Security disability, there'd be those earnings requirements. Okay,
all right. It's tough. tough situation. You have a guy who comes out and he's got the injuries, and it's not easy getting a job as a felon anyway. Not that that's part of the equation here. Of course, you're looking at disability. I hope that helps a bit. Not that we could give you, an easy solution to that, Clyde, but look into it. And SSI, again, describe to the viewer just so they understand the difference between Social Security disability and Social Security insurance.
Yeah, Social Security disability is under the Social Security program where you are paying in with your taxes into the system.
That's the situation I would be in. I mean, I've been working for 5 years.
Folks who are working and you're paying into the system. The Social Security disability program, you have to be insured through that work activity. The SSI program is a needs-based program. It doesn't have anything to do with the Social Security program or taxes. It comes out of the general tax fund, and it's for individuals. It's the same definition of disability, but they have to be under certain income and resource. They have to have less. If they're an individual, they have to have less than.
These are folks who maybe have never worked a day in their life because of a condition, and they get something. It's the very basic safety net.
Children get on full SSI, like you said, adults who may not have worked or may not have worked very much or may not have worked for the last 20 years, and then they become disabled, and so
Okay, so that could be there for Clyde. Look into that then. All right, let's go to Jackie. Jackie, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. Hi, Jackie.
Listen, I have like 2 or 3 questions in one, and I hope I can make this where you can understand what I'm asking. First of all, I waited until I was 66 to draw my Social Security so I could keep working and make as much as I want. Now, I didn't realize, and I don't know if I should have, when I signed up for Social Security, should I have had withholdings taken out? And then my next question is, when I file my income tax, do I add that Social Security amount to my regular income? And if so, what is the maximum amount you can make before you file income tax?
Right, so those are very good questions and very appropriate as far as the time of year. I mean, we are into tax season, and so one thing is we do not automatically withhold taxes out of your Social Security benefits. Some, a lot of Americans either don't want it or don't need it taken out, but we have that option, so you can call in or send us a W-4 form, and we can have that taken out, 7%, 10%, whatever you want, taken out, so that if you are in that situation, you can, you can have that withheld. You do need to add it, and put it into your taxes. That is one of the questions as far as when you fill out your taxes, and so you do need to include that. And then depending on what your adjusted gross income is and how much other income you have would determine, how much might be taxable for your Social Security. And so I like to refer that question a lot of times to your tax accountant or the IRS or something along those lines. But I hope that those, that information kind of helps you understand a little bit more.
Did that cover it, or did you have anything else on that?
Well, my problem is, used to you could go to the library and pick up a book of instructions, because I always do my own taxes. Well, they don't do that anymore, and I'm an old dinosaur. I don't have a computer. I can't print anything off that way. So I was just wondering, if you make X amount of dollars, if you make less than a certain amount, you don't file at all. And then I don't know what that amount is. You got to make over that amount, like say $25,000 a year. You do or you don't file. So that was one of my questions.
Yeah, and that's a very difficult question for us to answer because it's your adjusted gross income. So it depends on what kind of exemptions and deductions and all that goes into that factor. And that's why I don't really like to say a hard number, because for you, I mean, I could say 35, but or 25 or whatever number, but then depending on what your taxes look like, it could be, that could change, so it's best to include it in there, and if you know what your adjusted gross income is, say maybe from last year, you can call in to us and talk to us, and we can try to help you determine what kind of percentage you might want to be taken out, because that is something we can do over the phone or in the office. Either way is to add that withholding from your Social Security taxes.
How much do you earn a year, Jackie?
Well, sometimes, about 15,000, 17,000. It varies. Sometimes up to 18,000.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds to me like you're right there on the line, where the poverty line, basically. So if you're right on that line, I mean, I can't. 15,000. I can't imagine them taking any taxes out of her.
Well, if you're making 15,000, but you're also getting 15,0und in Social Security, you know, and then you combine all that into your adjusted gross income, and that's why I hate to really dig too deep into individual cases like that because there's so many variables.
Yeah, and some of that, and unfortunately, and I appreciate the question. Those are good ones. People have to think about. It's really more for IRS than you.
Yeah, and you can give us a call, and we can help you, you know, set up the whatever percentage you want taken out.
Okay. Good luck on that, Jack. It's good that at least she's looking into that to think about what she owes and whatever. But there is a line there where, you know, you're at a point where you just don't have to pay taxes. But that you don't want to be there because that means you're not making much money, and that's a hard life. So let's go to Evelyn. Evelyn, good morning.
Good morning.
Hi, Evelyn. How can we help you?
I have a question, and it's in reference to income. I get Social Security disability.
Okay.
I'm about to start receiving retirement disability from my job. Am I supposed to turn that in to Social Security or not? I'm kind of confused on it because I've been told that I can't get both of them.
It's a great question. So if you're getting Social Security, not SSI, but Social Security disability, we only look at your earned income. And so if you're getting some kind of retirement or short-term disability or some other kind of disability from your work, Social Security disability doesn't care as long as it's not earned, as long as you're not working. So it sounds like in your situation you should be fine.
Okay. Okay, so I just recently got a what is it called, a 1099 for my taxes. They just send it for my information. That don't mean I need to do my taxes, does it?
Not necessarily. We send that out to everybody who receives Social Security, and then depending on your particular situation and how much, you know, if you're over that limit as far as what you have to file on, then, you know, you'd make that choice.
Right.
But I would add the two. Well, I ain't getting it yet, but okay. Okay, I understand.
As long as it's so, and I understand it can be confusing, but I see what your question was. So she's about to get this other retirement from work. She's still getting Social Security, but because that's not earned income, that's more of a retirement that she had already put into, right? So
there's a lot of different programs out there, so I don't know. I don't want to speculate on what specifically this benefit is. I don't know if it's taxable or not. I mean, if it's not taxable, then it may not make it. But as far as Social Security is concerned, we don't. If it's not earned income, we don't care. It's not going to affect your disability.
Okay, and I guess maybe that's what she was after most of all, is making sure that kicking in will not affect your disability, and that's good to know. Whether or not you have to pay a little more taxes on what you're taking in, that's something you need to either check when you do your own taxes or if you have a preparer. Let's see. Let's go. Did you say we need to take a break? Okay, yeah, we'll take a break. When we come back, Margie, Stan, and others, stay there. We'll get to your phone numbers in our final segment right after this.